Why don't you introduce the people, let them know who you are, brother?
Peace. I'm MC Enigma from Plainfield, New Jersey. You know what I mean? Back via Panama, Negros Americanos.
So now, when did you start making music?
I started like around end of middle school. You know, probably, what was that? 2000, 2002, around there. And I started with my man Bishop Eastside Nappyhead. We were on some, like most people. I listen to Nas, I listen to Cool Herc and Grandmaster Caz. Like I was on some. I listened to Busta Rhymes, the Fugees, Will Smith. You know what I mean? But what made me want to rap was CB4. Seeing
the
that
movie?
Yeah. CB4 and Saturday Night Live. Like just watching that. I started on some comedy stuff, like just saying ignorant, like I'm busting none in your hairline and stuff. Oh, I can't say that. So anyway, but like, just real ignorant stuff. But over time, started becoming more and more responsible with what I'm saying, what I'm putting out there, and working on the craft.
Okay. So how would you best describe your sound?
My sound is like a kick in the nuts, but then a hug afterwards.
So basically, you're punching somebody and you're gonna give them a hug. Like it's very.
Yes, it's like or a hug and then a kick in the nuts. Whichever. It depends on the track.
Okay. And now I understand. I know you said that you were living in Panama for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So being that you're living in Central America and being from the United States, so you're not of Panamanian descent. You just wanted to move there just for that, just to see something different.
See something different and form the group Negros Americanos. Okay.
Now, being that you lived there part of the time you're here, how is that? How do they embrace hip hop in Panama as opposed to the United States?
They love it, man. Get a lot of love out there. Like I heard John Robinson. They're spinning John Robinson in Panama.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? Primo.
Shout out to JR. Little side.
Man. So like it's a small scene, but it's real, and they show a lot of love. There's a lot of good MCs out there.
And this is the latest project right here?
That's the first project.
This is the very first project.
It's called Imagine.
This was his very first project right here.
Close your eyes and imagine.
Okay. And it looks like you have this in your playing field in the background.
That's my street, man. That's North Ave. That's where I grew up.
Okay, that's what it is.
So that's the the alpha. That's where it began.
So now with all of this, and now you're having a lot more success with everything. Do you feel like you got to work harder in this game now?
Hell yeah. Right now it's like I feel like I stabbed the game with a butter knife, and now I need to like put my force behind it to just. I need to penetrate. Right now it's paper cuts. I want to see blood. And
being that you said you started rapping in elementary and middle school, and being from a town out here in Jersey in Plainfield where you'll find people listen to hip hop, did you find that when I say hard to fit in because not everyone was doing what you were trying to do other than like John Robinson, did you find it a little like difficult, make it even more challenging?
Yeah. I mean, I was a weirdo.
Compared to some of the other kids who rapped like
compared to everyone. You know what I'm saying? We just weird is nobody's business. And it just came from like, we knew we didn't fit in, so we didn't even try to, so we're just gonna, everyone's doing their thing, we're just gonna do ours, and we just embrace being weird.
And that's the way absurd I feel about our radio show, because when they hear other radio shows, people do their thing, they say that they're hip hop shows, but they're more gonna do what the man and what the masses tell them to. Absurd and I were like, you know what? We're gonna do our shows to dedicate to the underdog and what the streets really need to hear. That's what we call it, ear to the streets. And again, shameless promotion is the best promotion. I gotta say this. That should show everybody on the Underground Hip Hop 2011, the majority of those MCs were either guests on the show or we spin their music.
Word.
And that should show something.
For real.
But more back to you now, though. Who are some of the producers you worked with on your latest project?
Okay, on the latest one, well, I worked with a lot of people. I started off with Dianetics. That's a brother from Dumont. He's from another Jersey representative. And then with the new one, most of the production is done from different producers from different parts of the world.
Okay.
So it's a long list.
And now, since you mentioned the world being there with Facebook and Twitter, is that really how you decided to make the move to Panama? You had to build a lot of connections through Facebook and Twitter and MySpace, or did you? You
know what? Both of us, we got our teacher certification. We printed up some resumes, got our papers straight, and just went. We were just like, yo.
I see you're a school teacher in Panama as well when you go down there.
I was teaching English.
Okay.
And really, like, we formed the group Negros Americanos because, like, Plainfield is blacks and Latinos. And around the time that we left, there was a dude named Spencer Cadigan. He was murdered. And they said he was murdered by a Latino or whatever on the West End, like right at the corner of Clinton and Front. And I was working with People's Organization for Progress, and at that time both of us were, and we were canvassing the community, trying to get people out for this peace rally, and we couldn't talk to most of the community because it was Spanish speaking. So we were like, yo, not only do we need to form a group for hip hop to reach blacks and Latinos, but also just for survival, because we're all in the same situation. We're all in the hood, and you know, I grew up in my building. You know, half of the building was Latino, and I'm thinking like, I was just hey, what's up? But I never really connected with them, so I missed out. You know, so I think it's you know, our mission is to unite blacks and Latinos first and foremost.
And then that's a very important thing that you mentioned that, because we live in a society in which it is nothing much better when somebody can you can speak a person's language, they can speak your language, because even slang in its own right is a language of its own. And as you tell me, it does feel good when you see an older person who's there to speak slang too. You're like, wow, they understand me.
Right.
So. But more importantly now, I know I want to get into a joint from you when we get back right now, and we get back into the interview. What's the joint, which are the clean joints right here?
These are the clean joints.
Okay. We're going to get into...
They're on the back, the numbers.
Okay. And what's the joint that you'd like to get into?
All right, we can start with the clutch. The clutch is you know, that's off the Sarah joint, Someone as Real as Her. That was a dedication to my ex-girl, you know, trying to make things right with her. Didn't work, you know, and my life got better.
Okay.
So,
WKNJ.
peace to her.
WKNJ 90.3 FM. We have MC Enigma in the building. About to get into this joint right now. Then we're going to get back to the rest of the interview.
All right.
Here we go.
The